There are no completely unselfish acts. So when you care about a human being, there's a thing called karma or reaping what you sow or whatever, philosophy or religion you're into. But there's this thing where you get it back. That's always the Hintergedanke for me is how would I like to be treated if I was this person? I like money coming in, but I don't want to trample on, the ethics and the integrity while I'm doing it. And sure, we all make mistakes. I put my hand up for that one as well. But just practice caring about people. And if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. If they reciprocate, great. If they don't, they don't. But just do the right thing by people. I think that's and in fact, Marcus Aurelius said something about that. It doesn't matter how stressed you are. It doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't matter how much money you do. Just do the right thing.
Welcome to the Making Sales Social podcast, featuring the top voices in sales, marketing, and business. Join Bryn Tillman and me, Bob Woods, as we each bring you the best tips and strategies our guests are teaching their clients, so you can leverage them for your own virtual and social selling. This episode of the Making Sales Social podcast is brought to you by Social Sales Link, the company that helps you start more trust-based conversations without being salesy through the power of LinkedIn and AI. Start your journey for free by joining our resource library at socialsaleslink.com/library. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back to Making Sales Social. I have a wonderful guest today, Tom Poland, who is my new friend, but also we've been networking through JVMM, which is a joint venture group. And I'm just really excited to share his expertise today. Tom is a multiple best-selling marketing author and has clients in 151 cities around the world. He works just 2 days a week in seclusion from his private resort on the subtropical Sunshine Coast of Australia. And we are blessed to have you for 15 or 20 minutes of your 2 days a week. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the show.
G'day, Bryn. Australians tend to tell it like it is, unlike our friends in California. God bless them. And I'm prefacing what I'm going to say with that because I want people to know that I'm fair dinkum about it, as we say here down in Australia. But I love meeting with you because, first of all, because of your accent, and no, I don't have one. You have one. The way you say
have
coffee,
an accent.
No. The way you say coffee in New Jersey, and the fact that you're whip smart and that you love your business and you've got these two different models going. There's nothing not to love about you. Please marry me in the next lifetime, okay?
Yeah, my husband might object to that, but
yeah, my wife too. Yeah. But next time around.
Hey, you never know what life brings you, right?
So long as you like coffee, it's a deal, okay?
I do, and I like coffee.
There you go. All right, let's rock and roll.
I'm thrilled to talk to you today about your brilliant marketing brain. But before I do, I ask all my guests, what does making sales social mean to you?
Well, as an introvert, it means not leaving home.
Working in seclusion.
But jokes aside, to me it's about integrity. You show up to meetings, hopefully on time. You do what you say you're going to do for your marketing partners. You care about your marketing partners to meet with them after you've done something together to see if it was okay for them. So it's about, to me, it's about being a decent human being. It's about caring. We had an email from a guy, this is a classic 2 weeks ago. He couldn't download something. Now, we've got thousands of emails going out, so you get a few of those. And so my team probably spent 3 or 4 emails back and forward sorting it out for him. And he was blown away. He said, this is amazing. It's just a free download. Why are you guys doing that? And so that's the DNA of caring about people. I think that's what it means to me.
So I love that. And right in your LinkedIn headline, you really are like, ask me about your weekly, predictable weekly flow of new clients, no call, no charge, just happy to help. And that really does, that's indicative of who you are as a human being. Like, I just feel like you are attached to the results and the solution, and just know that the money's going to come.
Yeah, it's a practice, it's not a light switch, but I've been practicing that attitude. Still not perfect at it, but Paramahansa Yogananda said something to the effect that there are no completely unselfish acts. So when you care about a human being, there's a thing called karma or reaping what you sow or whatever, philosophy or religion you're into. But there's this thing where you get it back. So that's always the Hintergedanke for me is how would I like to be treated if I was this person? So I'm not Mother Teresa, I like money coming in,
Sure.
but I don't want to trample on the ethics and the integrity while I'm doing it. And sure, we all make mistakes. I put my hand up for that one as well. But just practice caring about people. And if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. If they reciprocate, great. If they don't, they don't. But just do the right thing by people. I think that's the. And in fact, Marcus Aurelius said something about that. It doesn't matter how stressed you are. It doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't matter how much money you do. Just do the right thing. And most of us know what that thing is.
I love that. I love that. So your big thing is Leadsology, right? And this
Yeah.
is your lead generation methodology that really creates in your clients leads for life, right? You talk about
Yeah.
that. Share
Yeah.
a little bit about that philosophy
Okay.
and why this
Yeah.
really works more than all the other lead gen
Right.
things out there.
Well, I think first of all, a principle and then a context, and then we'll unpack it a bit. So the principle is that Leadsology is about making an offer, putting an offer in front of people that we're pretty confident are already looking for that offer. And so if you think about outbound selling and sales and direct marketing, etc., it's about putting an offer in front of a lot of people, and very often we don't know if they're, I call it hungry for our honey. Bears like to eat honey. Is this a bear that's hungry or is it a bear associated? So we want to identify people who are already looking for your offer. We're quite confident they are. That's the first principle. So there's no arm twisting. It's a very organic, relaxed process. And if they buy, it's fine. And if they don't, that's fine too. But we're putting offers in front of people that we think are, it's inbound, if you like. That's the principle, is we want to put an offer in front of people that we think are already looking for that offer. The context is professional services, intellectual property, courses, speaking, consulting, coaching. It's not a physical product, because marketing a physical product, you can do very effectively with traditional advertising. Once you get that right, you get the copywriting right, you get the media right, you get put it in front of the right market, that's fine. But that doesn't work with professional services. So people like you and I who have online courses, who do coaching and consulting and so on, we need to give people, the pink teaspoon at the ice cream parlor.
Yes, the sample.
Right, exactly. So, and we call that content marketing. So, and that's also ties in with the principle that when we put a free offer out there for the great unwashed masses, we don't know who's who, sort of thing, who's hungry, who's not. It draws the people towards our pink teaspoon, and we know that person's interested in. And now mixing my metaphors and mixing my food as well. That person's interested in our honey or our ice cream.
Honey on ice cream. Well, good.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
So I love that. So it all starts with the content. And
Yeah.
I think that's important. A lot of folks that are in a business development role think content is, let me tell them all about the things I can do for them, and then they're going to want to
Right.
buy from me. But you
Right.
have a different philosophy around that, right? Talk a little bit about the
Yeah.
kind of content that doesn't
So
help those people.
yeah, so we got to understand. So this is the thing in marketing. People call it a unique sales proposition or an elevator pitch, or you can call it a slogan, or just call it a marketing message, I suppose. And that's really where it starts, because we've got to work with reality as it is, not as we would like it to be. As we would like it to be, we just tell people what we've got, and they beat down the door wanting to buy from us. Uh, as it is, people have a brain, and there's this thing called a reticular activating system in the brain. This is a literal physical part of the brain, and its job is to filter out irrelevancy and to filter in relevancy. And when someone hears, let's say we've got someone who does leadership training or something, when someone hears about, excellence in leadership, or leadership, the edge, or developing leadership skills, the reticular activating system's going blah, 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 blah. We've heard it so many times before, and we decided it wasn't particularly relevant. So in a nanosecond, I mean, literally a fraction of a second, when someone reads that or sees that message, it just gets blocked out. it's like camouflage. It's like the reticular activating system will camouflage over that, and we just move on. So to get through the RAS, reticular activating system, whatever message you're leading with, which is your free download message or your free webinar message or your free workshop message or whatever it happens to be, and this is true of every step of the sales process, particularly the early steps, it's got to get through that reticular activating system. It has to be different. It has to be different. It has to be a different angle to whatever I've said before. Rolls-Royce, classic advertisement, National Geographic, double-sided spread, when you used to have things called paper magazines. And for Rolls-Royce. And it was inside the cabin of a Rolls-Royce looking out on the freeway, a clear freeway, and with a mahogany dashboard. And the words were said, the loudest thing you'll hear in a Rolls-Royce silver, whatever it was, is the ticking of the clock from the mahogany dashboard as you cruise along the freeway at 100 miles an hour. Now, they didn't say the best quality. They didn't use the word luxury. All of those things went boom in your brain when you saw that and you read those words. So we know a picture speaks 1,000 words, but a dozen words can create that picture. So that's a good example of something that gets cut through. It's still giving the message that the manufacturer wanted to give in this case, but it gets cut through. Now, the second thing that has to happen in a person's brain is that message gets through the filtering system and hits the amygdala. And that's got a result. This is the fight or flight center. We know, we're told the reptilian brain had that, whatever. But it's a real thing, where it came from, God or evolution, who knows? I don't. But it hits the amygdala, and the reaction is either fight or flight or find out more. This is relevant. I'm interested. Click the link or download the book or sign up. So when you get the marketing message getting cut through because it's differentiated, and by the way, containing specifics is an easy way to get differentiation, and hits the amygdala, then people go with their mouse these days, go click, I'm interested in that, and they download or they register or they whatever they do. But all of this is preliminary to them even knowing whether you've got a program or whether you're in person or whether you've got a diagnostic tool. They don't even know what it is you do. You've just got their attention because you've been smart enough to get through the RAS, hit the amygdala, and they go, ooh. And Brendan, you'll see this when you have Zoom meetings with people and you say something and it gets through the RAS and hits the amygdala. They do two things. And you can observe this as a student of marketing. It's worth doing this. First of all, their eyes open. So their eyes literally widen. And the second thing they do is they lean forward slightly. And that's when you don't see this when you're sending emails out, of course, but you can practice this. And if you use a phrase in a group meeting and you see people go like this, write it down because that's gold. And that's where all marketing starts, is with that message.
That's amazing. I have a note taker that happens to be in this meeting, but it goes into all my meetings. And when I go back to it, it will tell when people smiled, when people nodded. And so you can actually fast forward to see all those things. So it's really
clever,
really kind of cool. So I love all of that. And I think that the new phrase, instead of fight or flight, is find or flight. I think that's your new phrase. So I love that.
That's valid. We will rewrite the university courses on human psychology. Okay.
I love that. I think we can.
I'm just feeling it's incomplete without us.
I think we can add a lot of pizzazz to the course curriculum. That's what I would say. So I just want to talk for a moment. You have a 10-part Leadsology interactive model. And I know that's a lot of parts, and I know that that people can download that, but talk to me a little bit about the interactive model and what that means and why that really works with your clients.
Right. So when you look at how you get that message in front of people and in front of the eyeballs and next to their ears, you can write a book and put that in front of them. You can run a 2-day workshop and put that offer in front of them. There's a lot of different ways, mediums through which you can get the message about your magic out to the market. And so on a spectrum, the one-page cheat sheet download requires very little skin in the game from the prospect. But yes, it gets the message in front of them, but very little skin in the game. The other end of the spectrum, running a 2-day workshop where people have to fly somewhere, and let's assume it's free, but there's not a financial barrier, requires a lot of skin in the game. And that's why the number of people you'll convert from that 2-day workshop is infinitely more percentage-wise than the number of people you'll convert from a one-page cheat sheet, not just percentage-wise, but number-wise as well. But it's a lot more work, and you're going to have less people going to a 2-day workshop than you will downloading a one-page cheat sheet. So you've got to get the sweet spot. You want people to have enough skin in the game to register that they're seriously interested, but not so much it prevents them from taking that next step. So something like a diagnostic tool or a quiz or a survey is close to that sweet spot. A short webinar is probably the absolute perfect balance between enough skin in the game, not too much. So the interactive model, when people complete that, we know that they care about a solution to their problem because it's going to take them probably 5-7 minutes to complete it. And the skin in the game I'm talking about is their time. So that's why something like an interactive model might be for some target markets, especially if you're dealing with technical target markets, such as CPAs, lawyers, scientists, etc. So different mediums are going to suit different markets, but that's one of the ones I like because, and also gives you opportunity automatically to give someone a semi-customized report of the diagnosis of the situation and showing them where the gaps, in my case, where the gaps are in their marketing model.
Oh, I love that. I mean, that really, I think, allows you to fill in the blanks instead of starting from scratch every time too.
Yeah, it is a bit of a diagnosis, but I do like the short webinar though, because it gives us, we'd all rather be entertained than educated, right?
Or a little bit of both.
It's more fun. Well, if you can do both, and that's why we're playing around with this 12-minute webinar right now, which is on demand. We're finding 2/3 of people are watching it on demand, and 1/3 is scheduling a time. But that's a good it seems to be, and I've still got 2 more months of testing to do, but it seems to be about enough time that people who are getting that opportunity, 2/3 at the moment, go, well, hell, I've got 12 minutes right now. It's being my emails. Let's see what it's about. And it's quite a little hyper. I'm presenting, so it's a little hyper. Not hyperbole, but high energy.
The way that you do it is so interesting too, because you show up and you pick like this is going to be running at these times, and the next time, and it could be 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but you can now sign for the next time it's running. And I think there's something psychological about that than completely on demand.
Right. Oh, that's an interesting observation. I hadn't thought about that. But that maybe that's that specificity we were talking about before. That,
Yeah. Go ahead.
There's still a start time. Yeah, I think you've got something there, because if it's at any time, I get a little bit apathetic about that. I know I come back to that anytime.
Right.
But if it's in 7 minutes, yeah, maybe there's that factor there where I've got to show up on time. That's always a good it's indicative of a quality client that they can show up, right?
I love that. Yeah. I think it's interesting. We have 11-minute classes for $11. We've been playing with that a little bit.
You and I are living in a parallel universe, I think.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, but 11-11 is my thing. So I'm more on. Yeah, that's just.
How about that?
Lots of stories around 11-11. But as we're talking about brevity, we're coming to kind of wrapping this up today. But 2 things we have in common that I haven't mentioned. One is we both love tennis.
Oh, true. I didn't know that of you. Yeah.
And we're both grandparents.
Huh? Get out of here. You're not. You look like you're 23 years old. You started when you're 12 or what?
Oh, my daughter just turned 34 this weekend. So, yeah, I've got 2
Holy
grandparents.
dooly. Wow.
So how about those things in common? I just thought
How old are your grandkids?
3, almost 3.5 and almost 2.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Isn't it great when they come visit? And isn't it great when they go home again?
I have them all weekend this weekend while her mom goes to London. So
fantastic.
Yeah. So her best friend is over in England and she had a baby. So we'll take the babies. Anyway,
fantastic.
All fun things.
Just popping over to London for the weekend, sweetie.
Isn't that nice? It's only 5 hours from New York.
Try doing that from Sydney.
I know. She loves Australia. She was there for a couple of weeks before babies, and it was one of her favorite
My favorite phrase of the week is going to be, I asked Bryn about Toronto. What's Toronto like? She said, it's just like Australia, except freezing cold. Just think of it like Australia, except it's freezing cold. I love that. All right.
All right,
Wrap it
my
up.
friend. Yeah, as we wrap this up, is there any question I did not ask you that I should have?
Probably how does long take my hair to get my hair so perfect every morning?
Well, it's just perfect. I wish it were that easy for me.
Yeah, for bald people like me, it doesn't take long at all. But thank you for the question.
Yeah, I have to shave more than you do, I think. You know, what are you going to do?
All right.
All right. As we wrap this up, I thank you so much for all of your great insights. How can people get in touch with you? Where can they download the 10?
Yes. That thing we just talked about, the call to action. Yeah. GetTom'sFreeBook.com.
Oh, perfect.
GetTom'sFreeBook.com, and they can go and get my original bestseller, Leadsology, The Science of Living Demand, that goes through those 10 parts you were talking about earlier.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you, my friend. Great mic drop moments. And I really appreciate it. And I know that all our listeners do too. And speaking of our listeners, when you guys are out and about, don't forget to make your sales social.
Don't miss an episode. Visit socialsaleslink.com/podcast. Leave a review down below. Tell us what you think, what you learned, and what you want to hear from us next. Register for free resources at linkedinlibrary.com. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. Visit our website, socialsaleslink.com, for more information.